Scientists and farmers have found a set of solutions to one of the most severe problems in Africa: soil that over the years has lost almost all capacity to grow food. Fanuel Akudu inherited this small farm from his father in 1960.
Hali ya shamba wakati huo ilikuwa nzuri, manake ilikuwa inatumiwa, baadaye saa ingine wanawacha, wanalima shamba ingine, wakirudia baadaye mavuno yanatoka sasa.
But as the population grew, the need for food meant that not a square meter could be left fallow. Imported fertilizers were out of the question for farmers like Fanuel, with cash incomes of less than $1 a day. The result? Complete depletion of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, the nutrients plants must have in the soil.
More than 36 kilograms of N, of nitrogen, are exported from the soils. About 10 kilograms of phosphorus are exported from the soils, and also 25 kilograms of potassium are exported from the soils every year per hectare, letting it to grow during the long rainy season.
Amadou Niang is a researcher with ICRAF, the International Centre for Research in Agroforestry. Canada has supported its work to find natural fertilizers. One approach, called biomass transfer, looks for leaf and plant cuttings that can be applied directly to the soil, a green manure. At the suggestion of local farmers, researchers focused their attention on a shrub called Tithonia, the Mexican sunflower. It has been a roadside hedge plant in East Africa for 100 years. Experiments proved that by working Tithonia leaves into the soil, nitrogen and surprisingly potassium were replenished. If the scientists could find an easy way to introduce phosphorus, the soil fertility problem would be solved. Peter Van Straten, an agrogeologist from the University of Guelph, concentrated on that problem.
You cannot get phosphorus from the air, you have to get phosphorus from rocks.
Van Straten and his team looked for a local source. They found it in rock phosphate deposits just over the border in Uganda.
We have been succeeding in making little pellets out of them, which are very suitable for the farmers, and which the farmers actually like, and they are effective. And we have relative agronomic effectiveness of up to 80% of that of chemical phosphate fertilizers.
This was a big and happy surprise. Interaction between the rock phosphate pellets and the Tithonia leaves seems to help make the phosphorus available to the growing plants.
We're talking of less than 1 ton yield from a field like this to something in the order of 5 to 6 tons of maize grain yield, and that's a remarkable yield for these conditions. And it's easy to achieve, because all we have is to use that integrated package of the rock phosphate as a source of P and mix that now with the organics.
Farmers saw the difference right away.
Walipofanya utafiti wao, nikaona na mimi nikaanzisha kwa shamba yangu. Nilipovuna mahindi niliona tofauti kubwa. Sasa mimi naona hii Tithonia nitakuwa nikiitumia. Ndio nikaamua kupanda kando ya shamba pamoja na mitaro yote.
For Philister Pandey, who had watched crop after crop fail to produce enough corn to last the season, the change has been profound. Now her corn towers over her.
The food deficit is estimated at 3 to 5 months. So by using our technologies, by multiplying by 2 their crop yield, they will be able to solve their food deficit problems.
This is a success story, and I think it's the first time that we can really show that our science of agrogeology, geology in the service of agriculture, has a practical application, and that we can change people's life.
I'm confident it's going to work, because the technologies are based in the resources of farmers. But they have their knowledge, they have their manpower.
And in eastern Kenya, they've been involved at every stage of the research process. The challenge for the research team is to modify their new soil fertility technologies to suit conditions in other parts of Africa, and more importantly, to bring those technologies to the millions of African farmers who will benefit the most. For the Canadian Farm, I'm David Mowbray in Maseno, Kenya.